Welcome in, y'all. Today we're going to be going over some must-win games in the NFL, or at least need-to-win games. If you want to see my full week picks, that's on my channel. You can check that out. But before we jump in, yes, I'm aware it is only week 3. You don't have to tell me. Losing one of these does not necessarily mean they're going to miss the playoffs. This is really just a look at who's going to be in the toughest spots with losses this week. So let's kick it off. The first one, Houston at Jacksonville. Right now, they only sit at a 24% chance to make the playoffs after starting 0-2. Lost to 2 good teams, but it doesn't matter. 2 losses are 2 losses. And I'll throw the stats up on the screen right now. The odds of making the playoffs when you start 0-3 are horrible, slim to none. And it can definitely be done in a weaker division like this, but they need to win. Starting 0-3 is not the path you take to making the playoffs. A lot of these games are need to wins this week, not necessarily must in week 3, but this might be the closest it gets to a must win. You can't start 0-3 in the NFL and try to make the playoffs. Next up, Pittsburgh visiting New England. This is a weird one. Again, this is one of those need to wins, not must, but at New England, and they're 1-1, and you think you start 1-2, it's fine, right? And it kind of is, but at the same time, they have a very tough division, a difficult schedule. And the biggest part to me is New England is one of the teams they're going to be fighting with for that last playoff spot. So a loss to them, you lose the tiebreaker, and you go a game back behind them. That's 2 things you do not want to do. So if they're wanting to make the playoffs, and if they're wanting to make Rodgers last year special and go on a run, try to make something out of it, they need to go into Foxborough and get this one done. I think they're favored by 1.5, so they're expected to. But on the flip side, I think the Patriots, it's the exact same situation. Playoff odds are only 4% higher. They need to go and win as well. Same spot, 1-1. The winner of this game gets the tiebreaker and a leg up on the other for chasing down those last couple playoff spots. And it's a big week 3 game. Again, must win is a strong word. This is how we're saying it, but you need to win this game. And one of them is gonna, and I think this game's gonna tell us a lot, because these are 2 teams that might catch the tail end, and if one dominates, we'll see. This one's kind of a weird one. You might not expect it to be on here. Commanders currently sit at a 46% chance to make the playoffs, which is pretty good. That's solid, very close to that 50-50 chance. But the thing is, you're at home against Vegas, a team you should beat, but a team that can come in and beat you. You can't take them easily or lightly. And if you lose this game, you look at the schedule. You still got to play the Eagles twice. It gets a little dicey if you were to lose this game. Again, they still would have a very decent chance to make the playoffs with a loss, but this is one of those at home you need to take care of business. This is not one of those you can afford a letdown week. I know Jaden Daniels is banged up, and I don't know if I've heard for sure whether or not he's going. If he is going, it's even more crucial. Even if not, they still need to win. Next up, we have the Cowboys at the Bears. So, yeah, 32% chance right now for Dallas, and I think that tracks. They're in the 8th or 9th position, and this is one of those you cannot go against an 0-2 team. An 0-2 team that it's not like the Chiefs 0-2 where they lost to 2 really good teams. The Bears lost to the Vikings and the Lions, who are good, but you got to go on the road and you got to get this win. You got to start 2-1. You can't be falling to 1-2 in the spot. They could still make the playoffs if you fall to 1-2, similar to Washington. They still have plenty of road in front of them, but it gets a lot tougher. This is one of those you really need to go in there, kind of establish you're the better team and get a win. On the flip side, though, this one, I was going to include it, and I almost didn't, seeing how low their current playoff chances are, 6% for Chicago. I'm really only talking about it because of how much hype they had coming into the year. I know there's a lot of Bears fans. Do they still have a chance? Yeah, but I think this is one of those must wins. A lot of these are need to wins. This is a must win for Chicago. You lose this game, in my opinion, you're done. You will not be making the playoffs. End of story. You win it, and there's some life. You're like, all right, we just had a tough couple weeks. We were at home. We get a good win, and then we build on that from there. I think the chance is there to still make the playoffs. I wouldn't expect them to, but they have a chance. A loss, and they're done. Minnesota over here, 20% chance to make the playoffs. Carson Wentz is playing in place of J.J. McCarthy, but it's only so much of a downgrade with how McCarthy has played so far. And I almost didn't include this one, but seeing how low their playoff odds are at 20%, a home loss to a team with a backup quarterback would hurt. Again, I don't know if this falls in the must-win category. I think it's still on the need to win, but it's in the middle. It's close to must-win. 20% chance. You're playing against a backup quarterback at home. You got to take care of business. I think this game could go either way, but it's one of those they really do need if they want to make the playoffs. There's a lot of good NFC teams this year. It's going to be tough to claw your way in there, I think, in both conferences, actually. So yeah, Minnesota at home, got to get that done. Chiefs on the road in New York. I almost didn't include this because there's some on here where like they need to win or should, but they're going to take care of business depending on who they're playing. Or they're just bad teams who aren't making the playoffs anyways. But this one is like, God, I mean, the Chiefs play close games against bad teams. If you look back to last year, and only a 49% chance to make the playoffs, they dropped to 0-3 with a loss to a bad team like this. And I think then it is finally time to be like, oh, the Chiefs are in trouble. But I think right now I'm still holding back. They lost to the Chargers and the Eagles, 2 teams I have top 5 in my power rankings, so I'm not too worried. They don't look great, but they didn't look great last year, and they went 15-2. So, we'll see, but they got to win this game. You can't lose this game. And it would be reassuring, I think, if they were to be able to produce a blowout, because they have the skill to blow out a team like the Giants. But the Chiefs the last couple of years just... I remember when Mahomes first came on, if they were playing a bad team, they were winning that game by 25, But now it's like no matter who they play, they're winning by 3. So I think it'd be very encouraging for them to kind of win in a blowout. But regardless, they got to come out of there with a win. So let me know what y'all think. How many of these are must-win games? Which ones are need-to-wins? Do you agree? Is there any that I missed that you think should be on here? Again, it's only week 3. So there's a lot of road left in front of us. You could start 0-3 and you could end up getting the 1 seed technically. So again, doesn't mean anything necessarily, but statistics say a lot of these are tough spots with losses. So we will see. Looking forward to the week and how some of these games turn out.